Welcome back to the Hot Corner. We're so happy to have you with us again. If you haven't done so, please like our channel on YouTube and subscribe to get notifications whenever you get our next videos. And also, if you haven't done so, please go ahead and like us on Instagram and Twitter, on Facebook. Last time we were here, we spoke about everyone's favorite player from the National League. Today, we're doing who we feel are the best players from each American League team. Okay, we're joined by the boss man, Brandon Alvarez.
Yeet. What's up, everyone?
By Paul Bruno,
Yeah.
Mike Alfinez, and we're happy to have back Daniel Rowland.
Welcome back, Danny.
Yeah.
Back, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think last time we had a pretty good discussion, and I think one of the things that we were talking about is, for example, we have issues. One of the ones that I got a lot of flack for was the whole Barry Bonds versus Roberto Clemente issue, right? And I said I picked Barry Bonds because I said Barry Bonds won 3 MVPs with the Pirates. Roberto Clemente only won 1. Understanding that, Roberto Clemente played with the Marlins. He played with the Pirates all 12 years of his career.
Did he really?
And so my issue, and I think we're going to run into that in some of these points, is that there are players that they played for a team for maybe only 3 or 4 years, but it wasn't necessarily their prime years. It wasn't necessarily their good years. And I think we'll run into that today with some of our choices.
Yeah, and to everyone, again, this is going to be our all-time, who we think is the all-time player of each franchise. Just to clear that up, and now we're going to be starting off with the Texas Rangers. And whoever's going to start off first, let's go with Paul. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go with Mr. Adrian Beltre.
Okay. That's a
Wow.
good pick.
And Domini, there's probably like 2 or 3 that you could pick off from the Rangers.
Yeah.
It ain't Bale Trey.
But Adrian
Shut up,
Beltre
man.
had a heck of a season with them, batted 304, a little bit above 300. Not that much pop, only 199. But I would say Beltre.
Beltre's your player? All right.
Yeah.
Danny, what do you think?
You know what? To be quite honest with you, I wouldn't pick Beltre, and considering that he did well with both the Dodgers and the Rangers. He's a very good third baseman for the Dodgers. They missed him dearly, and when they got Justin Turner, they kind of filled a big hole that they had over there. But me personally, if I were to say anybody from the Rangers, it would have to be my man,
Pudgy.
Ivan Rodriguez, brother.
Ivan Rodriguez.
Ivan Rodriguez.
It's kind of a tough pick. I mean, you have Rafael Palmeiro in there.
Rafael,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, but Brandon, I think it's the same thing. Rafael Palmeiro spent he spent a good time with Baltimore.
The Baltimore Orioles, yeah.
So my pick is Pudge as well, because when you look at he's probably the person who had the longest of his prime with the Rangers. Even though he spent a year with the Marlins, he spent a year with the other team. The Rangers got the prime Pudge.
All right. Mikey, who do you have? Who do you have, Mike?
You can't go wrong either way, but I'm going with Juan Gonzalez. Just because, he's a career 295 hitter.
Yeah.
So, Juan Gonzalez.
Yeah, with these type of teams that they have a couple players that you can't go wrong with.
Yeah, exactly.
My pick is Pudge. It was a tough pick, but one of the best catches of all time too.
Absolutely.
You can't even take that away from him. So, yeah, but
it's either between him or bench.
All right, everyone. Moving on, we have the Seattle Mariners. This is gonna be a pretty tough one. Couple Hall of Famers, top players of all time. So let's kick it off with you, Mikey. Who do you have?
Oh man, I'm going with the kid.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey.
Hey.
Can't go wrong with
Can't
that.
go wrong with
Yeah,
that
you
either.
can't.
You can't.
You can't.
I'm
The
also
dude can do it
Ken
all.
Griffey. Yep.
He stole bases. He robbed home runs. Great defending. Great defender. Sorry. He had a plus arm. I mean, the
Could do it
dude
all.
was. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going with Ken Griffey Jr. as well. I mean, what else is else to say? Should have gotten in unanimously. I don't know that one guy who didn't vote for him. But
Exactly.
that one guy,
Same guy.
He's no longer on the board.
yeah.
He's the same guy that didn't vote for Jeter.
Yeah.
Probably. But anyways, Raymond, who do you have?
The kid.
Kid.
I mean, the other person who maybe you make an argument for would be Edgar Martinez
Yep.
What?
because he
The
played
other,
for him.
the only other person though?
I'm saying.
Wow, really?
Well,
Okay,
he
you
was
can-
a. I think that
Yeah,
I know where he's going at. Because he was a career Mariner.
That's why.
Edgar Martinez was a career Mariner versus Griffey wasn't. Griffey was a Mariner. He was a Red. I don't know if he played with another team, but I know for a fact that he did well on both teams. I know where Raymond's going with this.
Yeah, Griffey, 10 and 11 years with the Mariners. Obviously, Edgar Martinez more. But
That's why I said Edgar Martinez.
yeah.
The Edgar Martinez was 18 years with the Mariners. That would be my only argument for Edgar Martinez.
Yeah, Rennie Johnson as well, I think, was 10 years. Oh,
You have
you have
a
multiple.
couple of names.
Paul, who do you have? I think I know.
I'm gonna have to go with Mr. Japan himself.
Ichiro.
I have to go with Ichiro. He might not have the pop that Martinez had, that Ken Griffey had, but his career batting average was 322. The dude swiped 438 bases.
It's insane. Yep.
So my go-to guy for Seattle is Ichiro. Like we said in the beginning, Seattle is tough to pick because you got Ichiro, you got the kid, you got Edgar Martinez, you got Randy Johnson. So you have a couple of good cats out there.
Yeah, again, just a reminder for those of you tuning in, again, we're picking players that we think if you name that franchise who will be the face of it. All these players are, you really can't go wrong with any. Lastly, we have Danny making his pick. Danny, who do you have?
Oh man, I'm going with Ichiro, bro. I don't think you can go wrong with picking Ichiro. I think that Ichiro and Ken Griffey Jr. are both the both names that if you mention their names, they're gonna think Seattle Mariners immediately. And we know Ichiro played with the Yankees. He had, he had some good, some decent years over there with the Yankees, and he played with the Marlins, and he broke the 3,000 hit playing for the Marlins, which I was glad. I think he did a lot of good with the Marlins. But if you say Ichiro Suzuki, you think Seattle Mariners.
All right, everyone. So moving on, we have the Oakland Athletics. Raymond, who do you have?
It was a tough one for me because the A's have they historically have a lot of good players.
Yeah.
But I might pick Ricky Henderson. And even though Ricky Henderson moved around a lot, again, when you look at the majority of his prime years, they were with the Oakland A's. Okay. Even though he was kind of a nomad, he was with the Yankees, he was with the Blue Jays. But when we think of like prime time Ricky and today I'm the greatest of all time, it was with the Oakland A's.
Absolutely.
All right, Danny, who do you have?
I got the same guy. And you can make an argument for Dennis actually. You can make an argument for Canseco. You can make an argument for, and I know that Canseco's not a name that you're going to throw around when you talk about the Oakland Athletics, but you could throw those names around. Dennis, Raleigh Fingers. You could. Those are guys that are franchise guys. But Ricky Henderson, without a doubt.
Mike, who do you have?
Well, my favorite athletic. We're talking about the best athletic, so I'm sorry. Even though he was my favorite athletic, Barry Zito, I'm going with Ricky Henderson. You can't go wrong. The guy was an absolute beast.
Gosh, I didn't even think of Barry Zito, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was so good. Like you just,
I didn't even. It didn't even run through my mind.
All right, last but not least, we have Paul. Who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with Ricky himself. Ricky Henderson himself. Yeah. I was debating between him and Mr. October, but I know Mr. October had his.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. I forgot Reggie Jackson was an athletic too.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. I was gonna go with Mr. October, but I'm pretty sure Mr. October had his best seasons with the Bronx Bombers themselves.
Oh nah, bro. Listen, you can make an argument for because Ricky Reggie Jackson moved around a lot too.
Yeah.
He was. So he was with the Yankees. He was with the Oakland Athletics. He was with the Anaheim at one point. So you can make an argument for all three of those teams. But you're right. He did have his better years with the Yankees, but he did some damage over there in the West Coast.
All right, the next team we have is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Oh, that's everybody knows.
Everybody knows. All right,
next team.
Wait,
next
just
team.
For the sake of the video.
On three
of Mike. Say aye.
I
Hey, I will say this though.
Oh
They have
my
some
God, it
good
has to be Mikey.
players, man.
All right, wait. But for the sake of the video, who wants to make an exception? Who do you think has an argument? Well, really
No.
don't. But who's the
Trout, can you
closest?
say
Nolan Ryan.
no?
Dave Winfield.
Dave Winfield. That's the only other person I think. Dave Winfield.
Well, we're gonna be moving on to the Astros.
Oh.
I'll go first.
Asterisks. All right. Raymond.
Why do you have to go first?
All right, Raymond. Since you volunteer, go ahead. Who do you have?
For the Astros, there's two people who I think we can say for sure it's going to be. I'm going to say that it was Jeff Bagwell. Spent 12 years, almost his entire career was with Houston, and all of his prime years were with Houston.
All right, Mike. Who do you have as your pick?
So like I said, I was trying to say, Raymond had three good players. He left out Lance Berkman, which I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but at the time he was really good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that you also have to have Jose Altuve because he's not a Hall of Famer,
He's played for 4 years.
but he's
5
gonna
years.
he's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm going Biggio.
All right, so moving on, Danny. Who's your pick?
Craig Biggio, without a doubt. The guy was a monster. I don't try to defraud Jeff Bagwell. He was a phenomenal ball player. I like his batting stance. He just it was so weird.
That wide open,
that crouch. Yeah, that wide open crouch. It was pretty interesting. But you know what? Just moving along. But I want to touch on something real quick. Nolan Ryan had some really good years with the Houston Astros.
He did.
So can you make an argument for Nolan Ryan being the face of that franchise, or being the face of the franchise of the Texas Rangers? Because in his latter years, he played with the Texas Rangers, and he did some really good stuff over there.
His most iconic moments were in those teams too. When you see the highlights, you don't barely see highlights of the Angels. It's all with the Astros or the Rangers.
Yeah, when he's beating the crap out of Robin Ventura, I think it was with the Texas Rangers.
Come here, boy.
Exactly.
Paul, who do you have?
I had two, but I'm going with Biggio. But my second dude was none of y'all mentioned them, Roy Oswalt.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, Roy.
Oswalt. I'm looking at his number. This dude's record he played with them for 9 years. 143 wins, 82 losses. Almost 1,600 strikeouts.
Damn,
and his
impressive.
ERA is freaking 3.24.
That's pretty good.
Ridiculous.
In 9 years.
Yeah, Roy was nasty, bro.
But moving on, we have the Minnesota Twins. All right, Danny, who do you have?
I already know who Danny got.
Danny, what are you doing?
Bro, listen.
I got Danny's pick.
Listen, the experts say Walter Johnson, which was a starting pitcher back in the day, like he was in the 1920s and 30s, for the Minnesota Twins. Me personally,
actually 1900s.
I am gonna pick. My pick is gonna be a guy that was also a Hall of Famer, like Walter Johnson, and that was Rod Carew. Rod Carew was a really good ball player. He played first base, played second base. He was a monster at the plate. It was a guy that wasn't he wasn't too much of a pop guy. But I would definitely say Rod Carew. When you mention the name Rod Carew, you're thinking Minnesota Twins, and that's why I'm picking Rod Carew.
All right, Paul, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with Kirby Puckett.
Kirby, yeah, my man.
Yeah,
Kirby Puckett, man, that dude. His numbers are nasty. 318 batting, 207 home runs. Played with them for more than 10 years.
Okay.
So Kirby's my go-to guy.
No, Kirby spent his whole career over there in Minnesota. I don't think he played for the team.
Yeah.
12 seasons with the Twins. Yeah.
Did he play for another team?
No.
Oh, that's right.
He had a guy.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, Dennis Martinez hit him in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raymond, who do you have?
Kirby Puckett would. I'm a Mets fan now, but like growing up, I was a huge Kirby Puckett fan. And when you look on the 2 World Series teams that they won, he was their best player for about a good 5 or 6 year period. Although statistically, Joe Mauer, Harmon Killebrew are probably, in terms of like Hall of Fame status, will probably be like considered greater. My all-time favorite player to this day is still Kirby Puckett.
All right, Mike, who do you have?
He split his time between the Mets and the Twins, but I'm
I
going.
already know what you're saying.
Johan Alexander.
Jose Burrito.
Johan Santana. I was actually gonna bring him up.
Oh, me too. Me too. Yep.
Yeah,
Johan.
I was gonna discuss if he was worth mentioning as one of the top players,
But you know what? He had his no hitter with the Mets. So.
And then his arm fell off.
Yeah.
right after that game.
All right, so moving on, we have the Kansas City Royals. I think I know what a lot of people are gonna.
Everyone.
Yeah.
That's a landslide.
That's a landslide.
That's a landslide.
Are we gonna do the in favor again? All in favor
Yeah.
of George Brett? Say aye.
Aye.
So moving on, we have the Detroit Tigers. This is gonna be fun. This team is stacked.
Yeah.
We're Hall of Famers.
This will be the longest.
There's only one name that stands out in my mind.
I think I know. All right, Danny. Let's hear it. Who?
Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb. Yeah.
Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, my second was Miguel Cabrera. I mean,
without a doubt.
The only other person, statistically, Al Kaline
yeah,
was with them for 23 years too. But I mean, in terms of Ty Cobb, may be the greatest hitter that's ever lived.
yeah.
Shut up.
You
That's
have,
Pete
you have
Rose.
Hank Greenberg. You have so many players. Justin Verlander. I mean, I don't know if he's.
I don't think that
cracks.
you're gonna. I don't
Yeah.
think that you're gonna think Detroit Tigers.
Anyway,
Right
Justin
now
Verlander, yeah.
he's working on his next year. With on this upcoming year with the Houston Astros, and you're not really gonna, you're gonna think of him playing for the Detroit Tigers, but I don't think you're gonna think of him as a difference maker with the Detroit Tigers. He put up his own personal numbers, yes, but he's not a difference maker with the Detroit Tigers. And that's another team that, by the way, that Pudge played for.
Paul, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with Miggy.
Miggy, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Miggy. Miggy gave life to the Tigers.
I agree.
The Tigers were out of the picture for a while. Miggy came in. Verlander came in the picture as well. And they just dominated that division for a few years.
All right, Mike, who do you have as your Detroit Tiger?
Jose Miguel Cabrera Torres.
Okay, said his full name. For those who didn't know.
The best player to ever come out of Venezuela.
Yeah, I agree.
You could say
so
that,
far,
I guess.
Yeah, so far, yeah, I agree.
You can say that.
Yeah.
There are a whole bunch of them, bro. There are really a whole bunch of them, man.
But none like my brother.
Blessed. Venezuela is like Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. They're like blessed.
They're stacked right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so anyways, moving on, we have the Cleveland Indians.
Ooh, my favorite. Ooh.
Boy, he's gonna go with Lindor.
Gonna go with Kenny Lofton, bro.
Oh, hey. One of the greatest center fielders to ever play the game of baseball. By the way.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that.
Kenny Lofton.
Absolutely.
Nice.
He was a beast, man.
I would like to start this one.
All right, start it. Go ahead.
I'm going with my boy Pedro Serrano.
The Cuban basher.
Pedro Gogu.
I'm gonna go with Rue Baker.
Look, the Indians are stacked, but my favorite Indian, I'm gonna go with him because he's a future Hall of Famer too. I'm going with Lindor.
Wow, future Hall of Famer.
Future.
Yeah, it's a little premature, but I mean, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's definitely gonna be a future Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah, but that dude stay injured.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been injured. He's like Correa. He's just like Correa.
Whoa. No.
Just like Correa.
Lindor's better.
No.
You're saying in terms of like.
I know. No, I'm talking about injury. I'm talking about injuries.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm not talking about numbers or nothing like that.
Right.
He's
in terms of being able to stay on the field.
Lindor played the last last year was his only season that he missed some time, and it was in the beginning, and still had 30 home runs and over 80 RBI and over 30 steals.
Which shows
Don't mention Carlos Correa against Lindor at anything, not even at getting hurt.
The only thing Carlos Correa is good at is doing mitts with his old lady.
Exactly. Painting nails while he's on the aisle.
Hey, what's he gonna do? What do you want him to do? Let him take care of his wife, man.
Go watch Francisco Lindor how to do his mechanics.
Whatever, bro.
All right, let's move on. All right, now that we got Mikey's pick, Raymond, who do you have?
You have a few options. I'm going to go ahead and go with Jim Thome.
Jim Thome, my pick as well.
It's the same argument that the majority of his prime years was with the Indians, and I think if when he's inducted, he'll be inducted as an Indian.
All right.
And he's one of the few players that had their entire. Even though he played with the Phillies,
right?
He had time with the.
I mean, he's been with the Indians 10, 11 years. 10, 11 years with the Indians.
But his prime years are with the Indians.
Right. He played with Minnesota too. Did he play with Minnesota too?
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, towards the end.
I think
that's when he got his 600. I think. Well, who do you have? I'm assuming you have Jim Thome.
Yeah, I got Jim Thome.
Okay. But
sorry.
It's okay. I'll cut. All right. So speaking of the White Sox, that is going to be our next team. So
this one is unanimous.
Yeah. That could be a landslide. There's two options though.
There's two options,
but it's a landslide though. Me personally, I don't think that the second option is as feasible as the first option. But it could be two options. There's one guy you think of the White Sox when you mention his name.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's making commercials and still looks like he can get on the field and just.
Nobody's talking about that guy. We're talking about some other guy.
Oh.
But are we unanimous again?
Frank,
I'm unanimous.
Yeah. Chris Sale. Yeah. I mean, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Everybody in favor say aye.
Frank Thomas.
Yeah, Frank Thomas.
Okay.
Frank Thomas. You can make an argument for Carlton Fisk as well.
Yeah.
Pudge. Pudge would have been the other one.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We have 5 teams remaining. We're gonna cover the American League East for a finale. We're gonna save some of the best teams for last for you guys, so we could give our opinions. But right now we're gonna go with the Tampa Bay Rays. If anyone wants to say another, but whoever has the discussion for this one, I think Mikey.
That's a landslide as well.
I do.
You do? Okay, let's hear it from Mikey.
Oh.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Even though Evan Longoria is probably the best player.
That's the name.
I'm going Scott Cashmere.
Oh my God.
All right, so moving on, we have the Baltimore Orioles. Let's see, this should be interesting. I think a couple players, not too many, but I think the majority is going to pick one guy.
Yeah.
So
if it's the same guy that
I'm not picking that guy. I'm not picking that guy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's probably some guys who are not going to pick him.
There's one other person.
Who?
I think it's down to 2 people. Okay.
Who?
I think the obvious choice is going to be Cal Ripken.
Right.
One.
You have the streak.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
20. Entire career with the Orioles. Over 20 years.
Right.
Now, there's one other person. Now, he didn't play would be Frank Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time. I could be talked into it, but I think those are going to be the 2 guys, either Frank Robinson or Cal Ripken, probably depending on how old you are.
Are you forgetting someone, man?
I mean, you could definitely put him into the equation.
All right, Danny, who do you have? I think I know what you're going to say. I think
it's another Robinson, but it's not Frank. It's Brooks Robinson.
Brooks Robinson, yeah. Okay.
I think Brooks Robinson is a guy that you think when you say Baltimore Orioles. Brooks Robinson.
Wait, is it Frank?
If Cal Ripken didn't go through that streak, nobody would know who Cal Ripken is. I'm sorry to say this. If he didn't go through that streak, if he didn't go through that streak of games played, Cal Ripken didn't do anything out of the ordinary in his career.
Okay. The 2 people who I think most people are going to think of are either going to be Cal Ripken or Brooks Robinson. I thought Brooks was Frank. That's why I said that before. It's to me, it's Brooks or Cal.
All right, Mike, who do you have?
Oh, I'm going with the 228 32, 3,200 hits, 500 home runs, and I'm going with
Eddie Murray.
one of my favorite players on MLB The Show 2020.
Oh,
Eddie Clarence Murray.
Yeah, that,
I knew
yeah.
it. Yo, that's my man, bro.
Yeah.
Eddie Murray, man.
He's
Oh,
good
he
in
hits
MLB The Show.
bombs,
He hits
dude.
some bombs, bro.
Yeah, he
Bro,
does.
Eddie Murray was good. He was a quiet leader too, bro.
Another person we could have probably said was Jim Palmer.
Yeah, that's who I also
Yeah.
had. I mean, that.
Yeah.
Oh, his ERA was 2.86.
286. Yeah.
Almost 300 wins. My gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
And
good.
Yeah, but
17 seasons. What was it?
you know, if you think about that team, you think about Cal Ripken Jr. without a doubt, and that's what everybody's gonna pick. That's not gonna be my pick because that's everybody else's pick. But I personally think that Brooks Robinson should be the guy that represents that team as the best player to come out of Baltimore. Me, period. Me personally. And to be quite honest with you, it would have been Frank Robinson if the prejudice versus black players wasn't as intense as it was back then. You know, and I'm not one to say, you know, this all stuff, but there really was. And Frank Robinson was a phenomenal player, but he was playing there at the same time that Brooks was.
Yeah. Last but not least, we have Paul. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go with Mike the Moose.
Mike
Yeah.
No.
Mike.
Yeah, one of
No,
my
I'm just
favorites.
playing. I'm just playing. Even though he had good numbers with Orioles.
Yes,
so
he did.
I'm going with Cal Ripken.
All right, so moving on, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. Is also going to be a fun team. This team has a lot of exciting players. So who wants to kick it off?
I'll go if no one. I don't know. I had a hard time finding a player who you can say, man, their prime years were with the Blue Jays. Okay, me personally, Roy Halladay to me is like the one player when you look at just who's in the Hall of Fame and stuff or who will be. Roy Halladay had the majority of his prime was with the Blue Jays, even though he had success with the Phillies too. But to me, I think it's Roy Halladay in terms of their best player.
Okay, Danny, who do you have?
I have Roy Halladay as well. You can make a strong argument for Joe Carter. I think that if you talk about the Toronto Blue Jays, you're gonna think Joe Carter.
Yep.
I think that he was a hero in both World Series that they won. And he's a player that is a standout over there in Toronto. But as far as like picking the guy that really is like the guy that represents that team, you got to go with the Doc, without a doubt. The Doc.
Absolutely. Paul, who's your pick? The Blue
I got
Jays. Roy Halladay.
I got Roy. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually thinking maybe Carlos Delgado.
I was thinking
maybe,
him too,
but even Jose Bautista too. He's spent all his prime years with Toronto. But yeah, Roy Halladay has been there longer.
Shut up, Mikey.
Longest.
Change that look on your face, Mike.
All right, Mike. Who do you have?
Well, I got the 2-time All-Star, 3-time Slugger Award winner, Hank Aaron Award winner, Roger Clemente Award winner, AL RBI.
He said Roger.
American.
Sorry, Roberto.
Roger
Clemente. And if that's the case, you used to call him Bob Clemente.
Clemente Award winner, AL RBI's leader in 2003, and he also hit 4 home runs in a single game in September 25th, 2003. Carlos Delgado.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with
I was like, is he talking about Russell Martin? And then when you said the 4 home runs, I'm like, oh yeah, he's not.
No, he's...
Yeah, I mean,
that's one of my dad's favorite players, man. So
hey, that was one of my dad's favorite players too, and I was stoked when he came to the Marlins, man. And he went to the Mets and he tore it up over there too, man.
Yeah, he was one of my
You
favorite
know,
players.
the guy is like one of he was one of my favorite players. You know, he definitely diminished towards his end of career, but who doesn't?
Oh, this should be a good one.
We got the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees for last.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So,
All right, guys, we're almost done here with our episode. But before that, we have the Boston Red Sox. It's going to be interesting. And just for me to get under his skin, I'm going to make Paul go first since he's wearing the jersey. I want to hear you say who you think is the best Boston player. I want to hear you say it.
Can I go to bathroom break?
No.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Te estás cagando?
Nah. To me, there's two out there. There's more, but to me, the top two that come in my head that are big Yankee killers, and is Big Papi and Dustin Pedroia. But
Wow.
my go-to,
Okay,
that's
great.
Yeah.
okay.
My go-to is you think of Boston, you think of Big Papi.
Yep. Yeah, I see.
Sure.
I see your argument there.
Yeah,
I see your
definitely.
argument, yeah. Danny, who do you have?
In modern age, it would be Big Papi. But
People
the
don't
only
know.
person we got to keep it real, bro. The only
and
person that
Danny are
represents
gonna-
the Boston Red Sox is Teddy
Ted
Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ted
Everyone
Williams.
knows
I mean,
here I'm
you can make
Dominican,
you can make a strong argument for Carl Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
But Teddy Williams, without a doubt,
yeah.
is a guy that represents.
He's a
Now,
boss.
in modern age, Paulie's right. In modern age, you talk about Big Papi, that represents the Boston Red Sox. But the person that represents the Red Sox of all time is Ted Williams, possibly the best hitter, the best pure hitter of all time, and he missed like 6 years to the war. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Raven.
And I think the thing that people don't realize about Ted Williams, it's not that he missed 6 years, it's the ages that he missed. He missed ages 26 to 31 because of the war. It wasn't like he missed a time like on the back end.
Prime time.
He missed what would have been statistically his prime, and he still finished with like 540 something home runs.
And the only guy to ever hit 400.
Yeah.
I mean,
I am going to throw out another name.
Okay.
On the modern side, and that's Pedro Martinez.
Okay.
Who's your daddy?
He would
Pedro
throw Pedro Martinez.
He won.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
He won 3-4 Cy Youngs as a Boston Red Sox.
That two-seamer,
he
though.
was the best pitcher in his time. He was the best pitcher in the American League for about a good 5-6 year period, and that was with the Red Sox.
So they got
This turd's only saying that because he was a Met.
Pedro Martinez was probably my favorite pitcher. Yeah, but
Wearing that Dane Jerry curl.
Hey, he came clutch with them with the Phillies though. 2009.
Yeah.
But all right. But anyway, we have Mike. Who do you have?
Who came clutch in 2009?
Huh?
No, he came clutch in 2009.
Who came clutch in 2009?
Pedro.
You see this right here? This is
No,
from
I'm
2009.
saying the game he pitched though. He he only gave up like 2 runs. And you guys' lineup was stacked that year.
the 09 team. Wait,
I know for a
He
fact
was with
that's
the
not a
Phillies in
panoramic.
09.
I know for a fact that's not a
Yeah.
panoramic photo. That's not a panoramic photo of Game 6 in 03. I know that's not that for a fact.
This is 09, buddy. Okay.
Oh yeah. You guys forgot about 03, didn't you?
What happened in
Hey.
03? Huh?
What do you mean? What happened in 03? We
Yo, I'm standing
ended
between
it in
them.
6. In 6. Josh Becker pitched that runs.
Yeah, Josh Becker was a beast. Josh Becker, Mike Lowe, nasty.
Yeah. The following year, nobody's on the team
For real, everybody and their mother got traded.
except for Miguel Cabrera because he's control. Mike, sorry, bro.
All right, Mike, who's your pick?
I got an 8-time All-Star winner, AL
Here we go.
MVP, 2 Slugger Award winner, 3-time NL home runs leader, 2-time AL RBI. AL, that's what I'm saying. And he's got his number retired by the Red Sox, Mr. 14. He might not be what every like Big Papi and and what you guys said earlier, but I'm going with Jim Rice.
Who?
Jim Rice.
Jim Rice.
Okay.
Jim Rice.
I thought he was gonna say Johnny. I thought he was gonna say Johnny Damon.
Yeah.
I'm going with James Edward Rice.
All right, you guys ready?
I don't even want to get into this discussion, man.
But moving on, guys, we have to. Last but not least, this is gonna be a fun discussion. We have the New York Yankees. This team is stacked with legends. So we're gonna be stuck here for a while listening. So
No, we're not. No, we're not. Because I got this button right here that says camera. I'll just turn it off.
all right, who wants to lead it off with this one?
I want to lead this off.
right.
Let me start by saying.
Let's go, Jeter.
Raymond, let me start by saying that this team has you name it, they got it. They have the best players in the world. Let me start by saying Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Mr. October. But let me just say, I'm going with Mr. November, Derek Jeter, the greatest Yankee to ever play the game of baseball.
Oh, for the love of God. Somebody hose this guy off.
So,
Mr. Number 2.
Bias at his finest.
The greatest player to ever play baseball, Derek Jeter.
Let me ask you something. When you guys talked about the Atlanta Braves, did you say John Smoltz?
He said he cheated.
Yes.
He said 3 pitchers.
Oh,
Mike had like 5 guys on the Braves.
okay. You said 3 pitchers, but forgot to say Hank Aaron, which was possibly the best Brave to ever play that on that team. You forgot to say Hank Aaron. I'm gonna go ahead and say my pick, and it's George Herman Ruth. That is the only player that should be in discussion here from the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
We understand that there are a whole bunch of legends, and that you got Maris and Mantle and Gehrig and and all these other yo-yos, DiMaggio. You forgot to say DiMaggio when you were on your stupid rant.
He's actually my second pick.
You could pick any of those guys, But when it comes down to it, George Herman Ruth is the Yankee franchise face. Period.
Well, I can go on more of a rant and say Yogi Berra, Andy Pettitte, Roger Clemens, Bernie Williams.
No, you can't, because Babe Ruth is still the
Andy
face.
Pettitte and Roger Clemens aren't even the Hall of Famers.
Roger Maris, yeah, but Jeff Bagwell is. Come on, man.
That's why they weren't. Jeff
Bagwell's a Hall of Famer. Ivan Rodriguez is a Hall of Famer.
If you were gonna, here's my thing. If it wasn't gonna be Babe Ruth, you know who I would have put second? I would have put Mariano. No, I love DiMaggio. Like, he's probably, I would say Ruth, I would say DiMaggio, and I would say Mariano Rivera.
You're just saying DiMaggio because he was married to Marilyn.
He's still, I mean, to this day, God, if Mickey Mantle could have, left the bottle, maybe he finishes with more, Mickey Mantle had his demons.
It wasn't the bottle. It wasn't the bottle. It was the repercussion from the bottle when he was playing. He was playing right field drunk and tripped over a sprinkler.
Mickey Mantle. Come on, man! I could go for days.
I mean, but yeah.
All right.
Babe Ruth, you can't have baseball without
You
Babe
can't.
Ruth.
Yo, listen. You got the Sultan of
swing.
The Sultan of swing.
SWAT.
The Sultan of SWAT. Yeah. The Colossus
Bambino.
of Cloud. The great Bambino. How many names did Roger Maris have? Hey, how many names? How many? Yeah, exactly. How many names did Derek Jeter have like that?
He was the face of baseball. Come on, man.
Give me a break. You know what? I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk crap.
I disagree with that.
I'm not gonna talk crap about Derek Jeter because
who was
he's
the
our
face
owner.
of? Whoa! Who was the face of baseball during time of Derek Jeter?
In the late '90s, Ken Griffey Jr. Early 2000s,
We're not
Alex Rodriguez was the most hypest player of all time.
Is this guy?
Yes, he
Bro,
is.
Jeter got paid
Do you want
because
to
of A-Rod.
Bro,
Wait a second.
who got the most
Jeter
money?
got paid
Who got
because
the
of
most
A-Rod.
money for a reason?
Look at Paul.
We're not talking about about the most
No, I
money. We're
know, but
listen real quick. You're saying we're not talking about money. We're not talking about contracts. We're not talking about who the women want most. We're not talking about none of that. We're not talking about J-Lo's boyfriend. We're talking about the face
Who
of
said
baseball.
anything about
We didn't say-
J-Lo?
Listen, we're
Okay,
talking about
let's
the
hear him, let's hear
face
him, let's hear
of
him.
baseball, the most respected. Even Mike Trout said it before, and during that time from 2000 on, the face of
From
baseball was Derek
2000,
Jeter.
I could say maybe.
Alex Rodriguez, what?
To be quite honest with you,
wasn't? Bro,
No, he
A-Rod
was not.
wasn't?
bruh.
No, he was
To be quite honest with
Okay.
you, me personally, Derek Jeter is not a guy that I would fear stepping into the box in a situational, in a moment where it was like, oh yeah, we need Derek Jeter to
Mr.
smash
Clutch?
it over the.
Mr.
Come on,
Clutch.
give me a break, bro.
Hold on,
Give me a break.
I'm coming in now. I'm
All right,
coming in.
wait. All right, now we have Paul's pick, and then he could rebuttal with what we're saying.
My pick, and it's because I've seen him play. I'm not gonna sit here and say Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, his numbers are disgusting, 350 batting average. But I'm gonna sit here and go with El Capitan,
Okay.
Mr. Captain.
Yeah, but listen, you're gonna say that, but that's your opinion.
Listen,
Yeah,
listen.
let
You
Paul-
spoke.
let-
Now
let's
let me
let
talk.
Paul-
You spoke
All right,
for
Paul.
30 minutes.
Go ahead.
Let me talk.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about 30 minutes, man. Shut your ass up.
All right, Paul. Go ahead.
Wait a second. Anyways, my bad. Go ahead.
Devin.
You're such an idiot, man.
Wait a second. What?
It's gonna be a whole new video, by the way. Let's go. Let's keep it. No, for real. Let's go.
Derek Jeter. Mr. Captain. His numbers clutch time. The dude came through during the clutch. He didn't get that name, Mr. November, for no reason. The dude put up his defense was nasty. We've seen it against Boston. We've seen it against rivalry teams. We've seen it in the World Series. We've seen it at all times when he played.
Mm-hmm.
He came clutch in his last game. He got the walk-off hit.
Man, they
He
threw
got the
that
walk-off
underarm.
Hey, but you
They
still
threw
got
that good.
Nah, it's still a
So you
major
get-
league pitcher though.
So you're gonna tell me if you could sit there and hit that ball if it was pitched to you?
Nah, it's still.
Man, shut up, bro. It was a magical moment, bro. Don't get. I enjoyed it too, man. I enjoyed it too, bro.
Let me
Okay.
say this real quick though. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt anybody, but
But you are.
when
You are.
But no, because I'm a little triggered by the fact that that Brandon actually thinks that Alex Rodriguez was the face of baseball during that time when almost half of baseball hated him for going through Rangers and then going from the Mariners to the Rangers, then going to the Yankees. I'm going to play third base, and then he got caught with steroids. Come on, man. He was never
Mike,
respected by.
Okay, but Mike, I'm saying, so he was longer the face of Derek Jeter was the face of baseball longer than A-Rod was from that span that he came in the league. A-Rod,
Yes.
the sensation, because he was one of the most hyped players,
Yeah.
even than better than Jeter.
You're
even
crazy.
Even than Derek Jeter.
To Yankee fans,
Bro.
as a matter of fact, they had to bring him to the Bronx. They had to bring that man to the Bronx, bro. Even after the allegation, or no, you know what? It wasn't even an allegation. It was an accusation. Okay? And it was proven, it was a proven fact that the guy was a Reuter, and the New York Yankees still said, we need to buy that player.
And I'm okay with steroids.
What do you mean, and? What do you mean, and? We all know, Raymond, if you say that timeout crap one more time, I'm gonna come through the phone and punch you. Bro, listen, in that span of baseball, and we get it. We went through the steroid era. We went through all that garbage. Okay, and I'm not saying that Derek Jeter couldn't have been a prolific player to be able to help out another squad.
Or professional.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, he was a franchise player. He wanted to stay with the Yankees. Blah 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 blah. We get it. Okay, but the Yankees through that time realized that A-Rod can help them too. You know what I'm saying? And Derek Jeter couldn't do it all. If he was that great of a ball player, then he could have escalated. That he could have escalated his team to another level, and they wouldn't have even needed A-Rod.
But we're not talking about him being good. We're talking about the face of baseball. Was never Alex.
It wasn't Derek Jeter either.
Oh, come on. Who was it? Dan Ugla? Come on.
Yes. And Mike Jacobs.
Come on, man.
And Cody Ross.
Derek Jeter was clearly the face of baseball.
Go back in the span. You could see for all those years that A-Rod was hot. All those years. Bro, go back and see everything with the media. Everything was all about him. He was literally more famous than Mike Trout is, and he was the greatest of all time.
And he's not better than Mike Trout.
Yeah, and he's not.
Never was better than Mike Trout.
Listen, who cares about the media? We're talking about the face.
Who cares about the media?
But that brings.
Hey, you know what?
That has
Mike,
to come with it.
Mike, stop talking.
Is Derek Jeter not the face of the Marlins right now? Is Derek Jeter not the face? Does he not get all the attention, of the media attention and everything?
So let's say you have MLB. If they go to Japan, during that, you think they would have said, "Hey, here's our captain, Alex," over Derek Jeter?
What are you talking about? All right, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this now. Shut up, Mike. Seriously.
Alex Rodriguez.
Right now, you're talking straight nonsense, bro. And I want to hear what Paul has to say.
Actually, from that time, they would have preferred seeing A-Rod play over Jeter. Oh, we lost Paul.
We lost Paul?
Alex,
we would have
not preferred to see a guy hitting 40-plus home runs. 40-plus home runs for 7 straight years, 120-plus RBIs. You're telling me that, bro? Who could do it all at the time?
Yes, he's telling you that. He's telling you that because he's a Jeter homer. He's a Jeter homer. Wait, wait. Yes, I'm gonna agree with Paul on this one and say that.
Ray, go ahead.
Jeter was a man. Shut your. I mean, you don't hear me talking. Bro, listen. I'm gonna go with Paul and say the same exact thing that he just said. Bro, Jeter was the man in New York, without a doubt. So if you're gonna make the argument for Jeter being the best player in the Yankees, let's do it. You can do it because the guy was Mr. Yankee, without a doubt. He was Mr. Yankee. He was not the face of baseball in that era. He wasn't. And you can't say that. He was the face of the Yankees.
Of course.
Yes.
Easily. You can't dispute that.
And because of that, and because he was the face of the Yankees, he was known worldwide. Why? Because the New York Yankees are known worldwide. Okay? But if let's say that Derek Jeter played for the Miami Marlins. Let's say he played for the Miami Marlins. You think that people would have known all those great things that he did and how good he was, and people would have known him worldwide had he played for the Miami Marlins, posting up the same exact numbers that he did in New York? He would
have gone traded the year after
to the Yankees. Exactly. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're just basically trying to find out and get to the bottom of who was the face of baseball then. It was not Derek Jeter. It was not Derek Jeter. Okay, that's what we're trying to find out. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Mikey's probably got to take a crap. Paulie's, I don't know, he's mad over there or something. Raymond just came back from taking a crap. My man Brandon over here, he's a newlywed. He's got to tend his business. Okay, and like we've always said, this is the hot corner. We're always going to talk about it, but at the end of the day, we're all friends. Peace.
See you guys.
Hey, later. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hot Corner. Happy that you're here with us today. If you haven't done so, please like our channel on YouTube.
Wait, no. More hype. Not like a teacher. Not like you're reading off a script.
You sound like a college professor.
You're reading off a script. This sounds like.
You're like, welcome to the Hot Corner. My name is Raymond Cruz. I am a host today.